Get ready. Fight!
What's going on, guys? Snake Eyes here, and this is Rising Thunder. This is pretty much the new game that I'm playing right now, and I actually wanted to show it off because I've been playing for about 2 days right now. This game is in beta, and I've been playing for about 2 days already, and I have to say that for a fighting game, this shit is actually really fun. It has a couple of things that make it different from any of the other fighting games that are out. And to be completely honest, some of these things are actually stuff that I actually want to see implemented in other fighting games. One of the things that is like really fucking cool is that before you go into any fight, it actually asks you to pick the character you want to use right then and there. From then you have to hit start and you get paired up with somebody, and there's no way you can change your character from there. So character selection kind of happens before you even connect to a match. That's something that I'm kind of noticing is the matter with Mortal Kombat X. I was playing a couple of days ago, and it seemed like every fight that I got into, they were waiting for me to pick my character first. I don't know whether it was to counterpick me or to see if maybe I was going to pick a character that they didn't want to fight against, or had a character, you know, I have no idea. It just seemed like every single fight, or every single time I was connecting to somebody, they just wanted to see who I was going to pick first. It got to the point where like I got super frustrated, and I kind of did that same thing to the next guy that I just connected to. I was kind of waiting for him, and sure enough, he was also waiting for me. So it got to a point where he hovered over Kung Lao, and I was like, well, fuck it, we're gonna play a mirror match. So I went to Kung Lao as well. He then switched to Liu Kang, and then to who else? I think Devora and Sub-Zero. And I don't play Devora, but I was down with going with Liu Kang, and then I hovered over Devora just to fuck with him a little bit, and then Sub-Zero. I mute my TV, just putting that out there. I don't listen to in-game music at all, or just the game sound. It always throws me off, and I just prefer to play with music. So I had no idea that the counter was actually ticking down, and we were just pretty much cycling over every character because, you know, we were waiting for each other to pick. It got to the point where when I was hovering over, it just went ahead and picked for me. It landed on Scorpion, and I think his character was Kano. And I have a little bit of experience with Scorpion, so it wasn't that bad for me, but seeing him play Kano was just bad. You can tell the guy had never played Kano before. He didn't know what to do, and all in all, I really like how Rising Thunder has this whole thing where you just pick your character before, because it cuts out a lot of the bullshit. It's kind of like a pre-meta game at this point, in my opinion, for Mortal Kombat X, where you have to just wait for somebody to pick the character first, and that's something that kind of gets frustrating. And pretty much all in all, it makes me play worse. I don't know about you. I don't know if you guys can brush that off, but you know, that little meta game just kind of fucks with me. And when we actually get to the fighting, I'm not performing at, I guess, my best, because I'm stuck on something that probably shouldn't even be happening. That's just one thing that I really like about the game. Another is the connection. Even though this game is in beta, pretty much every single fight that I've gone into has been, you know, really smooth actually. There is that one match here and there that's, you know, just really laggy, and to be completely honest, they're so few and far between that I honestly don't care when I get them. It's you know, it's almost like whatever, because I know that that's not a recurring thing with this game. And like I said, it's in beta, but it's surprisingly running really fucking smooth. One other thing that I really like about the game is the fact that this is actually a best of 3. So 2 games win you a round, and you need 2 rounds to actually win the entire fight. That's actually really fucking cool, and it's something that I didn't know I liked until I started playing this game. It's actually really fucking awesome to see players adapt to how you fight, and you know, pretty much how you adapt to how they fight as you have more and more rounds under your belt. There have been plenty of times where some dude fucking wrecks me the first round, and I kind of start seeing little things that he's doing my bad, that he's doing, and you know, I end up either learning and winning the entire game, or if, you know, he does win, it's not by a huge gap. You know, he had to pretty much work for that win. And the same thing has happened to me plenty of times. I feel confident the first round, and you know, shit clicks with them, and they end up winning the entire game. It's actually really fucking cool, and like I said, it's something that I really didn't mind about other games. It's almost like, you know, you fight one player, just move on to the next one. But this whole, you know, best out of 3 is really fucking cool. What makes it even better though is the fact that these controls are actually really simple. There are 8 buttons, and I think people are saying that it's like the first 8-button fighter, but don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure about it. But yeah, there's 8 buttons. 3 buttons are your medium, light, or light, medium, and heavy. Punches, kicks, whatever, depends on the character really. The 4th button for that is the grab, I think. And then you have 3 buttons for your specials and 1 button for your super. So each character is different with the specials, but I guess one relatable character that I can use in an example is the one character that they have in here. It's she's called Chell. She's basically like a Street Fighter person. So think Ryu, think Ken, those guys, and pretty much one of her buttons, which is X, because I'm playing on the PlayStation 3 controller. I guess it's A for people who play on the Xbox, but X is like a Hadouken, and that's it. There's no quarter circle, forward motion, or anything like that. There's no motions at all in this game. And B is like the Shoryuken, and I think it's R2 is what is it? That flying kick. I think they call it Tatsu, but I'm not too sure. And that's it. And it really takes away most of the execution that I kind of appreciate, but then I kind of don't, and I'm gonna, you know, explain that right now. But being that they took away the execution in this game, I don't have to focus so much on actually doing the move. I just need to focus now on when to do the move. So that actually, I noticed, helped me out a lot as far as, you know, utilizing these moves and realizing how important they are in certain situations, and when they could actually become really dangerous, because, you know, obviously it has situations where they're good at, but then they also have situations where you're pretty much fucked if it doesn't go your way. So that's something where I actually see, and I'm like, you know, I don't have the satisfaction of being able to do all these complex combos, kind of like how I do with Mortal Kombat X, where, you know, I'm fighting on an arcade stick and I'm doing all these motions and I'm getting it, you know, down. I feel really rewarded doing that shit, because I feel like I bust ass and I learn how to do these combos, and I finally get them down, and then I eventually get to the point where I can do it online, and, you know, all of that shit to me is really rewarding. But at the same time, I do have the frustrations of the, you know, the execution sometimes, you know, when it's not on point. It can kind of make everything a little bit frustrating. And that's kind of where I feel like this game kind of gets rid of that, where you're not so much focusing on the execution as much as you are on the application. And because of that, since your focus is off of execution, you can actually start paying attention to the fight that's going on. You know, like I said, this is all speaking from personal experience. So when I say things, it's not like a definitive. I'm not trying to say that everybody feels that way, but you know, I'm kind of on both sides as far as how I feel, because I really do like games that require heavy execution, because that to me is like a testament of skill. You know, if some dude pulls off some hardcore shit, you know that he's put his time in. And like I said, on the other hand, I feel like sometimes it takes away, because, you know, if you fuck up, then you're screwed, or you don't really learn how to apply it in correct, you know, situations, because you're just too busy learning how to do it. And this game, even though is really simple by design, is actually a little bit more, I guess, fighter core, and that doesn't make sense. It's a little bit more focused on fighting, on just really pretty much outthinking your opponent. And like I said, it's something that I really appreciate. It's something that is actually really cool. With that being said, I actually picked up a character, which is the only character that you're going to see right now, because that's the only dude that I'm really working on right now. And I forgot his name. Ain't that a bitch? Anyways, I don't know. You'll see him. He's really mix-up heavy. He's actually fucking cool, because as I was fooling around with the buttons, I noticed that he had a forward heavy low, and his circle, or his B if you're playing on the Xbox, special is an overhead. And then also you have the grab. And this dude is very mix-up heavy, so I'll get into these swings sometimes where I'll knock the opponent down or whatever, and I'll pretty much throw up his projectile. And it's really fucking cool, because, you know, you start messing with people, and it's kind of another thing that I'm going to go back to, but you start focusing more on what you're going to start doing. And it really, this game actually made me start throwing like crazy. You're gonna see tons of throws, and it's ironic because in no other fighting game do I even try to throw. You know, even when people are like, you could have gotten a throw there, and even when I know I could have gotten a throw there, it's just been so hardwired that I don't throw for whatever reason, that I just don't do it. And in this game, I'm actually really surprised that I'm throwing like crazy, because like I said, it's not something that I ever thought I would need. It kind of goes back, because like I said, I'm not so worried about execution anymore. I'm not so worried about throwing the projectile, because it's literally one button, and you know, I can focus more on what type of setup that I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clear up right now, because I'm understanding how this is probably coming off, but if you do play fighting games and you find yourself like really into them, and you know, pride yourself on things like execution, and as well as the mind games and shit like that, and counter picking and all that stuff, this is probably not the game for you. But the reason I like it so much, and the reason that I'm hoping a lot of you guys are gonna like it, is because it's a nice introductory game to fighting games. You know, if you've always been curious about fighting games, if you've always been wondering but have been kind of staying away because you understand that it requires a lot of time to do these combos, this is the perfect game to get into, and kind of get your feet wet, basically. And even though I appreciate games like Street Fighter, I appreciate games like Mortal Kombat that require a lot of execution, a lot of practice, a lot of time, this game has taught me things that those games haven't. And it's taught me things that I know I'm going to apply to more fighting games that I play. And that's kind of the whole point here. It's like, as simple as it is, I do believe that it has some core things that all fighting games have, but just aren't as clear. And it has those things just pretty much in your face that you can start learning when to do it, instead of just doing it because you can. It's something that I do recommend you guys to check out. Basically what I did was I went to the website, which I'm going to go ahead and link down below. You can sign up for the demo there, or for the beta, I mean, but actually I had gotten an email. I got 2 codes for this game. So basically I'm gonna go ahead and put them up right now. There's no other way that I felt like I could hand these out without being unfair. So I figured if you watch this video, if you think this game looks cool, go ahead and grab that code, try it out. And I promise you it's at least worth the try. And hell, if you got a controller, you can play it on the controller. You don't have to worry about bringing out a fight stick. But if you do have one, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the PS3 and PS4 fight sticks don't work. I heard that you can use something called Joy to Key. I heard you can use something like that, and that'll basically help fix the problem. But it hadn't worked for me, and I heard better DS3s was another solution, and that didn't work for me either. So if you have a 360 fight stick, plug it up. I heard that goes no problem. But if not, I mean, hell, I'm playing it on the pad, and even though it's been different because I'm just not used to it, it's not something that's difficult. And like I said, I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're lucky enough to get one of those keys, let me know how it goes, because if you like this game as much as I did, then it's pretty much all worth it. But if not, go ahead and sign up to their website. Give it a couple of days. Make your account, give it a couple of days, because I actually waited like 4 days for mine. I didn't think I was gonna get one, and luckily I did, and I'm glad, because this game is fucking dope. But for the most part, this is pretty much gonna wrap up the video. I know I've been gone for a long time, and hopefully when Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain comes out, I'll be able to bust out a lot more videos, because that's pretty much the only game that I'm really wanting to play. But we don't have to wait much longer, but shit, it's gonna be a long one. But like I said, for the most part, this is pretty much gonna wrap up the video. So leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, take care.